10 people, some suffering seizures and heart attacks, have been admitted to hospital in Christchurch after smoking a bad batch of synthetic drugs. The police are now knocking on the doors of known drug dealers in the city in the hope of finding its source. Dr. Mark Gilbert is helping to treat the 10 patients at Christchurch Hospital. He told Checkpoint's Christchurch reporter Logan Church these people were gambling with their lives.
Over the last 48 hours we've had 10 presentations of synthetic cannabis overdose, which has left 10 people in various states of unconsciousness, and 3 of them have been admitted to the intensive care unit, and the other 7 we've been able to manage within the emergency department with stays of up to 24 hours. All these patients have been critically unwell.
When did they come in?
So they come in mainly actually in the afternoon, evening and early hours of the morning, but they can come in at any time of the day.
What symptoms did these patients in particular show when they came into the emergency department?
Sure, so these patients without fail in various states of unconsciousness, so usually they are unable, they're essentially asleep, they've often vomited. Some of them have been very agitated, they have a very fast heart rate, sometimes they have a slow heart rate, and the most severe ones have been completely unconscious, and we've had to commence full resuscitation, and we've ended up sending them to the intensive care unit.
We are hearing anecdotally that synthetic cannabis is becoming an increasing problem in Christchurch in particular. Is that also being reflected at the hospital with people coming in? Would you agree that that trend is on the rise?
So it's difficult to comment about Christchurch as a whole, but what we do know is that certainly over the last couple of years, synthetic cannabis has become more prevalent in the emergency department, both acute overdose and addiction. What we know over the last 48 hours is that there's obviously a bad batch in Christchurch at the moment, and people are experiencing unusually severe symptoms where ordinarily they might not experience symptoms that severe.
What would make a batch bad, so to speak?
Well, it's difficult to know because I don't make the batch, but what we know is that it doesn't really matter how much a person smokes. It can be a small amount or a large amount, but again, over the last 48 hours, these people just seem to be very severely affected.
What's the current condition of them? They've been in hospital for 48 hours. Where are they at now? Are they likely to come through this and see the other side, so to speak?
It's difficult to be 100% sure at this stage, but we think that they will, yes. There have been some patients discharged already, and to the best of my knowledge there's still 3 patients in the intensive care unit.
And what's their situation now?
You're going to have to ask the intensive care unit about that.
Are more people presenting with synthetic cannabis symptoms?
Yep, for sure. Over the last 2 years we've noticed more people presenting with synthetic cannabis symptoms. That's just a general mild rise, but certainly over the last 48 hours this is something else.
Why do you think that is rising?
Well, we assume that the prevalence of it is increasing.
And the dangers of taking it?
Well, the dangers of taking it are, well, ultimately this can cause death, and has done in the North Island last year. We've seen people that have been critically unwell here, so you're gambling with your life if you take this stuff.
That was Dr. Mark Gilbert speaking with Logan Church. We will hear more from the police about what they are doing to find the drug's source after 6 o'clock.